Hi, and welcome back to Love Your Midlife. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm Darcy Justin. I am a midlife coach, and I'm trying to provide inspiration and motivation for all of us that are walking through that journey of midlife. So I hope that if you're new to the channel, I hope that you will subscribe. I have new videos every week. And also, right now, I have a 30-day body image challenge for midlife. So you can find that also on the playlist on Love Your Midlife channel. And if you have any issues around your body image, I guarantee you that will help you and it will change and help transform the way that you look at your body and the way that you love yourself, which is so important. Today, we're going to talk about releasing emotions in midlife. So, I think it's really interesting how many of us are able to look at another woman and say, oh my gosh, she's got so much emotional baggage, right? It's really not that hard to do. And some people are more obvious about their emotional baggage than others. Some of us are really kind of clever and we keep it hidden. And there's other women that you almost like see them coming across the room and you just know they're going to unload. Like the dump truck, back up, start unloading a lot of their emotional baggage. And it kind of makes us uncomfortable. We're not really ready to deal with all of that. And I think that so many times our emotional baggage comes from childhood. And I am not a therapist, but I have certainly been to a therapist and I understand all of that. But many, many, many times things have happened to us as we have been growing up from childhood that have caused pain, emotional scarring. And very often it has left us feeling empty. And what happens is when we have these emotional issues, we tend to push them down and we don't really want to think about them because we think they're bad. Although we're going to talk about that in a minute, they're not actually bad. But in our mind, we get it all kind of stirred up that they're bad. So, um, having blocked emotions and not being able to release some of the stuff that we need to release can actually block our heart and our heart energy. And in our heart energy is our intuition. And our intuition is that voice that tells us, yes, do that. No, don't do that. And listening and being tapped into our emotion is really a power that we want to have. Especially as we're getting older, we need every little tool that we can get. So we really want to have access to our intuition. We don't want that to be blocked by negative emotions and trapped emotions. The other thing with negative and trapped emotions is they can really get stuck in your body and cause a lot of problems. For instance, maybe you're having headaches or you have neck pain or back pain. I had a friend that had a lot of digestive issues, and a lot of this was really around a couple of things that working with her a little bit, it was trapped emotions that never were really dealt with and just kind of pushed down. So the truth is, emotions, everyone thinks emotions are very mysterious and our feelings are very mysterious and I don't really understand what's going on. The truth is emotions are really not mysterious. They're such a big part of our life from the moment we get up to the moment we go to bed. And the truth is, emotions are not good or bad. We are trained in life what emotions are good and what emotions are bad. And even with our children, we start from a very early age about what we want them to talk about and what we don't. And I'm sure your parents did this to you. When you come home from school and you express that you were bullied or something happened to you, your parents are very afraid and so instead of working through that, they're just parents. They don't know. And so they act like they don't want to hear it, or they push it down, or they push you away. because when you have pain, they have pain. And you know this with your own children. So your parents weren't doing anything wrong. They were just kind of doing what they were comfortable doing. And then what happens is we don't know that that's something that we can feel or that's something that we need to lean into. And so it does get pushed down and it can happen um, over years and years and years. And many of our teens today are subject to an awful lot of emotions that are just they're not being able to talk about them. And we see people acting out on social media. We see people doing all kinds of things that are unproductive and negative. And it's really just because they're not allowed to discuss that. They're not allowed to feel that. They're not allowed to be in it and sit in it. And that's really a big part of this. Um, we really need to be able to, it really needs to be okay for us and anyone around us to sit in an emotion that we're not really sure about. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means we don't understand it. Many times, so many of us know what love is. So many of us know what a lot of these emotions are that are really encouraged by our parents. But the scarier emotions, the emotions that make everyone sort of uncomfortable, we're not that familiar with. And we're not really given that opportunity to become that familiar with them. So, when when we think emotions are good and bad, we end up really suffering from that. We end up suffering from that thought process because we think the good emotions should stay and we want the bad emotions to leave. And very often, what happens is the good emotions come and go quicker. And the emotions that we label as being negative or bad always come back and always come back up because that's life, right? So it puts us in a point of suffering, which we don't want to be there, right? Lots of people say, just let your emotions go. And I've even said this before. And there are some emotions that we can kind of let go. There are some feelings, maybe of jealousy or things like that, that we can just kind of go, you know what, I'm not going to be jealous of this person. I'm not going to be this. I'm not going to be that. Um, but then there are certain times that resisting emotions can really keep them locked inside of us. So it's okay to let an emotion go, but it's not okay to resist an emotion and act like it's not there or pretend like it's not there. Locked inside of our body are these emotions that we have resisted, we've pushed down, and they really do affect our mind, our body, our soul, our spirit, really every aspect of our life. Those emotions are going to have an effect. So here's a question for you. What if you were able to look at some of those things that might have happened in the past or some of those emotions that might be there? And what if you were able to hold space for that inner child in you? What if you were able to say, you know what, I just want to hold you. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that I see you. And this may sound really odd to some of you, but it's really a valuable thing to do. To go back and love and hold space for that inner child or that inner teenager whenever these different types of things happen to you and you didn't know how to deal with them and you pushed them down. What if you brought them back up and said, I want to spend time with you. I want to know you. I want to see you. I want to hear you. I want to love you. I want to hold your hand and I want you to know it's okay to feel rejection, to feel abuse, to feel whatever those things are. That is so important if we can just hold space for that person. What if we loved our inner child unconditionally. No restrictions, no boundaries, no anything. Well, I loved you, but, or I really wanted you to do this. That's not loving our inner child and loving our feelings and emotions that are trapped unconditionally. So let's not be afraid of these emotions that are trapped. They need to be released. We all need to let go and deal with these emotions and let go of these emotions so we can be healthier, so we can be more loving and more kind and more filled with all of the things that we want to be filled with. If we can be open and accepting, we will see a huge change in our lives and how we deal with ourselves, loving ourselves first, and how we deal with other people. If you're able to embrace some of these trapped emotions, and one of the ways that you can identify some of these emotions is it's a headache, it's a neck ache, it's back spasms. Where are some of these pains in your body? And speak to that and say, what is going on with my neck? And listen to what your body is telling you, because your body is an amazing, amazing thing. And it wants love and peace for you. Even though it does crazy things sometimes to try to protect you, your body wants you to be filled with love and peace and calmness. And so it will tell you, if you listen to it, it will tell you what's going on and probably what, maybe even what you need to do. So if you are able to remember that all emotions are worthy, all emotions are important, whether you think they're positive or negative, it's you putting a label on them. But all of them can help you be the person that you really need to be. And we've all been around someone who has a really healthy outlook on their feelings and emotions. And there is power in that. There is amazing power in really being able to embrace your emotions and not hiding out. This happened to me. I know that I have shared it before that I was bullied and a lot of my feelings were pushed down. And I had to spend, I'm not going to lie, a lot of time going back and really loving that person and letting that person know that you didn't get what you needed at that time, but I'm going to give it to you now. And a lot of that anxiousness and a lot of that doubt and a lot of that fear will fade over time when we know that it's okay, when we know that we've told that inner child that it's okay. So find a way to embrace your feelings and find a way to know that embracing your feelings is releasing your feelings. And not embracing your feelings is trapping your feelings inside of you. And that is not something that you want. And you do not want all of the feelings that come from emotions being trapped inside of you. I hope this was helpful today. And I hope that you'll realize that feelings are not good or bad. It's how we decide that we want to deal with those feelings. And all feelings need to be released. And so we can come back and be this whole person that we were meant to be. If you have any questions about this, or if you want to know more about releasing your emotions, don't hesitate to contact me or comment below. And I hope that you will subscribe to the channel and you will stay with Love Your Midlife and we can go on this journey together. Bye, babes.